Hello, Quadabble here on my main account, and today I wanted to go over. Uh, it was a very difficult one for the longest time to beat in faction crypts. Lizardmen. Lizardmen. You can see that I've beaten it. I've got my 63. So I want to go over what the build was. So I'll go down here and I just want to show you the champions, and then get right into the battle. But you can see that. Fushan was, I believe, my first or second legendary champion, so I obviously you put a lot into him, and he's got a really good aura where it's speeding all battles by 24%. So as a starter, one of the first champions I ever get, his speed aura in all battles was just phenomenal. And then of course I worked up into Rosin, and Rosin's in my budget unkillable team. He's a great decrease defenser, weakened champion. He can remove buffs. He's got a 3-hit. I mean, you know as much about these guys as I do. But then I thought this was a fusion, and I didn't do the event for this champion. And here I'll show you this guy right here, the Skull Lord Var-Gall. It was a pretty interesting fusion event. Again, sometime in 2019, I believe, if I remember correctly. But this one, what happened was in the fusion event, it was the same. It was just all the champions to make this guy. And here I'll get the last character I need. I'll pull him out, and I will pull out him. So it was an interesting thing, and I believe this was the other one too. I might be wrong. So in his fusion event, you had to put together 16, 4, 8, 12, 16 of this guy for the Skull Sword. And then those turned into 4 Drakes. And then those 4 Drakes turned into Skull Lord Var-Gall. And his ratings are not the best. He's got a 4 for Faction Wars, and you can see he's just not a very good champion. But with him, I was able to put together with him. Where is he? This guy right here, the Skull Sword, because his ability is he has a passive skill that says revives the Skull Sword for 50 and 50 at the start of each turn. If there are multiple, he'll only do one of the team on one of them to revive them. So he ended up being the answer for me to get past like 18, 19, 20, and 21 of the faction crew. And like I said, you probably already know about Rosin Scarhide and Fushan. Fushan's another great champion. One of my first, used him in everything. He was in my clan boss team, arena team, everything. Because he, before I got Arbiter, he was the fastest guy that increased speed for any location. So, really good champion in that. Then he's got some nice abilities. But as far as masteries on this guy goes, mastered him out, and I gave him War Master. And then as far as his skills go, I did book his skills, so I don't think I didn't do that. And then you go to Rosin, and the same thing. Mastered him out, and I gave him Giant Slayer, I believe. Give him Giant Slayer. So that's what I chose. Nothing too fancy. I could probably redo his skills. I've done them a couple times, but I could probably redo his skills and get something better. But that's what I chose to use for him. And then I did book him. So if you have him, if you fused him or been lucky enough to get a pull for him, he's definitely worth booking, in my opinion. And then I put him in artifacts. And you can see right here, he's got a low-end 5-star boots. And that's because he's speed tuned for the clan boss team. And he's got 187 points. He goes 3rd in my team. So anywho, so I did book him. And then with, this is where it gets inexpensive, honestly, right here. And I was really happy with this. I had built up Metal Shaper for Doom Tower because he has a 2-turn cooldown, a shield buff. He places a shield buff on him with a 2-turn cooldown, which is phenomenal and very useful in Doom Tower. So I booked him. Didn't really do much with his masteries, and he's got some really good armor on, but I haven't really finished him completely. So he was enough to get the job done. And then Skull Lord Var-Gall, no masteries. I didn't increase any of his books. So this is where I felt like I could cheaply defeat stage 21 of the Faction War Crypts of Lizardmen. And you can see he's got some good armor on, but nothing too crazy. Just some basic lifesteal gear with a speed set. His crit rate, these must be crit rate gloves, and that can be a crit damage. So he's really not even there to do damage. The only thing he's there for is this one right here. Revive Skullsworn with 50%. That's it. He's basically the reviver I needed for Lizardmen. Because there's not too many revivers in Lizardmen. And then you had this guy over here. It's a nice skill. Nothing too crazy. Now, with Skullsworn, because I did book him, he's cheap. He's rare books. Nothing too fancy. Not too much on the artifacts. Not only one level 16. Again, nothing too fancy. He's just there to last long enough to then be revived by Skullsworn. So with all that being said, you've seen the builds. I'll get right into it and do the attack. And you can just see that basically what happens is Skullsworn dies and Skull Lord Var-Gall revives him. I mean, that's basically the whole entire thing. My Rosin is built for Clan Boss. Fushan, he's kind of gone to the wayside. I use him in Doom Tower a little bit, but basically since I got Arbiter, he hasn't been very useful. And in my regular Clan Boss team, I found it more useful to put in a not Arbiter, Apothecary for the speed increase versus the 24% speed increase that Fushan gives. So I kind of just set him off to the side and don't use him very much anymore. So there you go. He revives him. And then they all focus on the Skullsworn because he's weak. That basically comes down to it. They attack him. He gets killed. Var-Gall, Skull Lord is fast enough to come back around and revive him before anybody else really dies. So this doesn't work every single time, but at the same time, it does get the job done. And like I said, only needing 3 champions at 660 was phenomenal to me. And the only reason I used Metal Shaper is because I built him for the early stages of Doom Tower before I got Brogni, Underpriest Brogni, who puts on a fabulous shield. Or if you have Valkyrie, she puts on a fabulous shield. 3-turn cooldown. A shield that lasts for 3 turns. Those are the best shields to get. And then you can make that champion go around fast and fast and fast and put the shield back on because you need that protection against one of the champions or one of the bosses in Doom Tower. I can't think of his name. I think the Scarab King. I think you have to decrease his HP, and you can't attack him if you don't have a shield or he's going to counterattack. So that's where it all came down to. Like I said, not too crazy with this, but only needing 3 660 champions, and 2 of these champions are rares. And all I really had to do with Skull Lord Var-Gall is ascend him, put on some decent armor. I didn't even do any of his masteries, and I didn't book him at all. So really cheap win. And I know some people out there have difficulty with the Lizardmen, but it is what it is. So we'll see how this turns out. Does he kill him? Well, see, for some odd reason he switches back over. Now Skull Lord Var-Gall comes around, runs his passive, revives him, and then again, it is what it is. It just works out fabulous. Kills him again, doesn't matter. Skull Lord Var-Gall comes back around and revives him. So it's kind of that's the only loop I can say that works in this, is because the clan boss is stuck. He's going to attack Fushan because Fushan got the fear or true fear. But I can see which one that is. Place a true fear on a random ally. So there's no reason or rhyme why he attacks Fushan there. But you can see on the standard attacks, he's just going to keep killing the Skull Sworn, which keeps getting revived by him. And the only reason I can do this is because, now see, the fear kicked on him, but now that we go into the next round, he's going to attack the Skull Sworn again, no matter really what happens. There you go. He kills him. Skull Lord Var-Gall revives him. And because Skull Lord Var-Gall does that, at some point in time in here, I'm going to kill him, and everybody's going to be revived. It just happens that way. Okay, so there you go. I only got 1 star for this turn. In the future, I would get 3. And sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. But 3-starring this, you can see how it works. It's just Skull Lord Var-Gall against the Skull Sworn. It'd be like having an Arbiter on your team and keep reviving, when you need them to. But it's a revive every single round. That's what I thought was pretty cool about it. So, all right, well, if you've got Skull Lord Var-Gall, I hope this video was helpful and help you to defeat Stage 21 inexpensively, cheaply, however you want to say it. I thought it was just pretty cool being able to do that with only 2 champions at rank 2 champions at rank 50, level 50, rank 5. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Hope this is helpful. Have a good one.